Welcome back to round 2, USWDGC with Krissie Fountain.
We are on the back 9, hole 10. What's really fun about this course is that when you get to hole 10, you kind of get that hole 1 experience again. There's a big gallery. There's a card waiting to tee off on hole 1 that people are cheering for. It kind of just gets, like, you kind of settle into the round. You get the nerves under control, and then you get to hole 10, and the nerves come back because there's all the people.
They come storming back.
I mean, my heart was pounding on this shot.
It not only feels like hole 1, that initial tee, but because of the gallery, but also because this is a tough shot.
Ooh. Yes.
It's a tight gap.
That was so good.
It's very downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And you can easily just end up off in the woods in the left and the right if you're off.
Yeah, it's a very specific line that you have to hit off of the tee. Oh, that was a great try. There's a little bit of forgiveness, you know. I think that walking away with anything worse than a par is not a good feeling. I mean, it's probably not on any hole, but especially on this hole because it's one of the shorter par 3s, you definitely feel like you want to give this one a chance.
Yeah. Ratana's been all over these baskets.
Yep.
She just can't get one to fall. So here's a spot where I missed a shot this round. You ran the putt down the hill on your third shot, and that was a bogey putt there. Oh. So for anyone that's watching,
that's what happened.
That one's on me.
I got a bogey. That's okay. I probably didn't wait long enough for you. It was probably my fault. I was probably mad.
I was getting excited for another slow motion putt there for, you know, to save par.
Yeah.
You were just a little off there. So we did have a 3-card backup on hole 11. So there were some recreational activities between holes.
Yes. We got a little bit of hacky sack.
There was a soccer ball there.
There was a soccer ball. But we're back in action now. The forehand play for a righty is probably the most straightforward. This looks really good. Look, she does the walk away. She does the turn around and walk away. Doesn't even need to look at it.
She knew it.
She knew it. Keep turning. Keep turning. Trying to get the body to tell the disc what to do.
That's the one mistake of the backhand, is just pushing too straight.
Yep.
Eesh.
Oh, that was so close.
Almost got the corner. Vanessa is way back here. That's a tough break to hit one of those early trees. But a excellent recovery shot.
Holy moly. Vanessa, next time that we're in the same area, I want to get some lessons from you on how to throw that shot. Oh, I forgot about that. So that's what happened. I remember what my score was on this. I can't remember how it got there, but now I remember.
That is an easy way to get that score in this hole.
I feel like at one point yeah, for all of us at one point in this round, we had that moment where we just clobbered a tree 15 feet in front of us. Me and Katarina, unfortunately, did it on the same hole. This was Ratana's drive, though. This is
prime.
Yeah, it doesn't get a lot better than that. Look at the wind ripping, though. You can see those feather flags.
Yeah, they were going
oh, yeah.
Do you think that in a tournament, you sometimes have too much of that go for it mentality, and that's why you find yourself hitting a tree like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the short answer to it. I think that when you have a drive like mine and you're short, like you kind of have to harness that go for it mentality because you know that's what it's going to take to get you out of trouble, even though most of the time it ends up getting you more into trouble. I think that there are veterans of the game who have kind of learned to rein that in a little bit and are better at decision making when it comes to that kind of stuff. And, you know, those are the people who end up really minimizing the big numbers.
This course really asks a lot of you, and if you end up trying to do too much once you're off the fairway, you do get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, this is one of those courses where you can't ever stop focusing. And I think that when you get to the end of this course, not only are you physically exhausted because there's a lot of elevation, there's the big mulch that you're contending with that you have to really pick your feet up for the whole round, which sounds kind of silly. But you know, it physically drains you. It's a lot of walking, but then there's the mental side of it too. You finish this course and you feel like you've just been thinking for the last 4 hours. Really good putt by Vanessa. You just can't ever have a lapse. Great par.
And this back nine is where the wind starts to come into play.
Mm-hmm.
So it adds just one more element that you haven't had to deal with on the whole front.
Yeah, the back nine is definitely more open than the front nine. All base, still very wooded. Hole 11's a doozy. There's that wall on the right, because there's sometimes a longer pin position. Again, not in play for this event, but it kind of prevents people from taking that hyzer. Look at that putt. And, you know, just another element out here.
Just one more.
Oh,
Ooh.
I love the catch cam angle. That was a tough kick.
This is another one of those holes where I thought maybe a straight play out in the middle of the fairway would just play a little better than trying to be super aggressive.
Yeah.
So we see two early, you know, aggressive attempts here at getting down the fairway, kicking out to the left side of the fairway. And then this really clean, low, straight shot by Katarina, putting her kind of right on the edge of the tunnel there.
I think that throwing just a clean straight shot is a lot harder than it sounds because we were faced with a ripping headwind on this hole.
Yeah, you got lifted up here and kind of delivered to the left side early or late, I guess.
Yeah, I was not expecting that to happen. Okay, I couldn't figure out what was happening. That was Ratana pitching out, right?
Nothing else to do but pitch out there. That's probably worst case scenario for anybody.
Oh yeah.
Is to hit that early tree and kick out that way.
Look at this shot though. Wow.
If you're gonna get a bogey though, might as well do it in style.
That was amazing. Oh, you can hear the wind. And see the vines. You can see the vines moving. Those vines are not small. Like, it takes a lot of wind.
Yeah, it's probably a little intimidating standing on that tee box, looking at the flags out in the field, because those flags were going wild.
And to me, I didn't even have this revelation until probably I guess maybe hole 17. Not only do the flags look intimidating because they're, you know, blowing with the wind so much, but the way they sound is very intimidating too. Just oh, so disappointing.
Putting on hole 11, 12, and then 16, 17, 18 is tough in the wind.
Yeah.
When you're coming out of the woods and not having any wind, you're putting sort of clean and calm, and then you step out and you've got to adjust all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. It's tough to make that adjustment that quickly on a course like this.
It really is. Oh, there's Neil. He's back. I mean, he was back a long time ago, but that was the first Neil sighting.
He was back on hole 5. He's been around. We'll see more of him, I'm sure.
Probably so. We got an island hole coming up. We got a bunch of crazy things still to happen in the last third of this course. I think hole 13 is my favorite my favorite green. Like the approach shot on hole 13 is just so iconic. To me, it's like a signature part of the course. I think we had a little bit of a backup on this hole too, didn't
Yes.
we? Yeah.
There's at least 2 cards in this pad.
A little frustration, again, probably because we have been chilling for a little bit. The miss on this is definitely to the left, though. It's scrambling out of the right side is so difficult. Oh, that was just begging it to sit.
Well done.
Oh my God. Oh, hi, Neil.
Speaking of Neil,
Anyone who doesn't know who might be watching this video, that's my loving husband.
There you go.
Fun fact, Sunday of US Women's was our 6-year wedding anniversary.
congratulations.
Yeah. That's true commitment right there.
Oh, it's such a good shot.
Beautiful recovery shot from Katarina.
Any kind of patent pending like that, when you're having to resort to that,
Oh, sit, sit, sit.
already is not fun.
No.
But to execute it like that feels so good.
Oh, Mr. Robert Wood. Look at that. Volunteer on point. Doing the spotting, got the Eeyore hat. I wonder how stinky that thing was by the end of day 4.
Yeah, that hat had to be so hot. Friday was one of the warmest days of the weekend.
Yeah, and he was committed. Commitment, the word of the day. He was committed to that Eeyore hat. Look at this. Look
Also
at
an
that.
incredible shot.
Great shot.
Wow. If that hyzers, that'll be really good. Yep.
That left side gap is really kind of where you want to be. That's the most open gap there.
100%. I mean, just look at how beautiful this green is. Whoa! Little throw-in run there for Katarina.
Back up that patent pending shot with just an absolute park job.
Oh, yeah. Yep. One of the more, I guess, open approaches on this course, but still you can just see all the trees. Oh, and she is still all over the basket from deep. Man.
Yeah, this tree out on the right is huge. And when you walk up to the basket, you can actually see the water in the creek, which you can't really get on some of the other holes. So it is definitely one of the more scenic greens.
Yeah, biggest tree on the property on this hole. It's beautiful. I'm really happy with par on this hole. Can't ask for a lot better than that. I'm not sure what the birdie percentage was on this hole, but it's definitely a tough cookie.
It had to be low. Look at Katarina taking a picture of the park job here.
Good for her. She almost threw it in. Amazing.
And then I think she tells me here, lefty. Got it with my left hand for the putt.
Slow mo replay. Oh, just on the bottom of the cage.
This is perfect upshot.
Hole 14, definitely one of the most gettable par 3s on the course. You just got to hit that right, like, kind of like left to right
Beautiful, thank you.
flex shot.
Little slight turn.
Yep.
How do you feel about throwing uphill forehands?
I don't hate it. I just have to be really careful with my disc selection. I think when you are throwing uphill, you generally want to reach for something that is more understable. But then whenever you're faced with a headwind, which I think we were maybe left to right crosswind, maybe a little bit of headwind, I think that makes your disc selection a lot tougher on uphill shots. I would choose to throw an uphill forehand over a downhill forehand. Downhill, I feel like all I'm going to do is just throw a roller.
Yeah.
I like throwing forehands uphill like that because you can see the gap, and the timing is a lot easier for the forehand up a hill than the backhand up a hill for me. So I'm a little jealous that you have that option as a lefty.
Oh my gosh. Oh, she's so close.
I mean, she's 1.5 foot total from being 6 strokes better on the round
I want one
already.
of those to drop for her so bad.
Great birdie there by Katarina.
Amazing birdie. Look at the blue bonnets in the background. I saw so many, recap posts from after the event or practice rounds leading up to the event or even during the event, and these blue bonnets were probably the most photographed blue bonnets.
This one at
On the
14,
course.
not over on
I
16.
saw more on this hole than I did on 16. I did. I think it was more kind of in a general walking path. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But 16 was beautiful too. Leading up to the event, when we found out what the dates were going to be, I was really hopeful that the blue bonnets would make their appearance, and they did, and it worked out. It was so nice. The blue bonnet, for anybody who doesn't know, is the state flower of Texas. So there is some significance there. We love our blue bonnets here in Texas. We had to tell everybody during the opening ceremonies, we made a PSA, don't pick the blue bonnets.
Take photos, whatever you want with them, just don't pick them.
Yep.
Clean line there.
Yep.
Good shot.
I really like being more on the right side of the fairway for the second shot on this hole. And I think just pushing that right side hyzer puts you in a better spot than trying to take the left side gap. That's a great shot too.
That was a shank.
She wasn't sure if it was going to work there for a second. It was a little bit wider than you would normally see.
I think that's another reason why this course makes you so tired, because you throw a shot and there's just so much anticipation, and that wears you down after a while. Is this going to end good? Is this going to end bad?
It's so true.
It makes you tired.
There's a vine up high in that right hyzer gap too, and if you just get a little bit out of control, a little bit nose up, sometimes you'll catch that vine going through there, and that's a bad feeling.
Yes, it is. I think another thing that's a little bit frustrating about this hole is like that little grouping of trees you see there in the middle of the fairway is a really popular landing zone, so you can have what you think is a really good shot. And, oh, I threw a backhand here? That's interesting. And
Just another wild Krissie line,
yeah, I didn't know I was going to do that. And it just feels like you get punished for a good shot. And obviously, I think the course designer kind of planned it that way.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a bummer knowing you executed your line and then you walk up to your line and you're still behind this group of trees. It's like, all right, well, this is what's happening. I think that was a caddy decision for me on that throw, because I had been throwing the lobster pretty well all day. And that was just one of the ones where you trust your caddy and you go for it.
So looking at this shot right here, I'm filming, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her setup for that patent pending shot, and she was in the tree from the moment she stood right there. Do you have any tips for somebody who might be throwing a patent pending? I think Ratana was too far back on her right foot than she needed to be. She needed to bring that foot forward more and square herself up better. What do you do when you throw patent pendings?
I think I'm the worst person to ask advice on patent pendings. Out of all of the shots in disc golf, maybe with the exception of a scuba, patent pendings are not my strong suit. They're, but okay, I can tell you one piece of advice on patent pendings. Try to put as much weight on your back foot as possible. Somebody told me that when I was working on them, and that has helped me so much, kind of controlling where my release is. So as long as you're putting your weight into your back foot, I think it's just from there, whatever is comfortable for you with still being within like a legal stance.
Yeah.
Oh, she wanted to make that putt.
When I throw patent pending, not that I'm the expert on them either, but I like the feel. I'm just distracting from that missed putt there. I like the feel of having my foot that's on the lie, that's on the disc, be on the back side of that sheet of paper we get. So spread myself out a little bit, and then the leg that we reach out with be towards the front of that lie. So it gives me a better balance point, and also gets my outside foot closer to the basket, if that makes sense.
I think that's great advice.
Because as we rotate, The farther back that outside foot is, the less we can actually rotate around towards the basket. So you want to try to open up that angle for your hips the best you can. And that's what I found works for me.
Sounds like we're going to have a patent pending field work day together.
We might
pretty
have
soon.
to.
I kind of made that a New Year's resolution, to like a disc golf resolution, to get better at those shots, because you know, even though you don't throw them often, you want to be proficient in them. And it's gotten better this year. Oh, there's just no... Oh, that was actually okay. I was going to say there was no commitment to that shot, but
Yeah,
that
that was a
wasn't
good
as
shot.
bad as I thought it was.
That's a great shot.
Hole 16. You play 15 holes in extremely wooded conditions, and then you get to hole 16. You get through the gap, and then it's like, welcome to the open holes.
Yeah, that's, I would throw.
And we're seeing that it's hard to tell what the wind is from back here on the box,
Yes.
because there's some lack of commitment to the turnover on these shots. I mean, everything is leaking out towards that
It
OB
sure
line.
is, yeah. Oh, that was probably a good kick. That might have saved
Yeah.
her from going OB. I think pushing like straighter on the second shot is okay, because there's this really big like pecan tree up here on the left that's behind this first tree, that if you're kind of in there, you got some choices to make. So if you can just push further to the right of the fairway, then you don't have to contend with that big tree. This looks like a great second shot.
Yeah. Yeah, DGPT gave us the cameraman out there as a good aiming point, I think.
Yes. Vanessa's playing the inside line.
I was so surprised to see Vanessa go inside like that.
Yeah. It's a very intimidating upshot, even when you're kind of at the distance of where that DGPT camera setup is, and like where that's that big pecan tree I was talking about. It looks like something out of a scary movie. This is an intimidating upshot. It's windy, it's downhill, there's OBs surrounding the entire green. I don't know if she stayed in bounds on that one or not. But see, I mean, you know, Katarina had a great second shot, and she's still contending with this low ceiling right here. That looks so good.
Yeah, and you're about to be in the exact same spot here.
Yeah. I don't want to see it. Oh.
Get back in.
Yeah, that was just a little mistake, just a little bit too wide.
Yeah, I think on that one I was in between forehand and backhand, and I think I just made the wrong decision.
That was Vanessa's shot after being out of bounds there. And then you're in the same boat.
I probably would have been a little bit more aggressive if it wasn't for the wind on this hole. You know, the elevated basket is another part of, there's just a lot of factors. The wind, the OB, the downhill, that's an amazing putt.
Great putt.
She got one to connect. That was really good.
So your upshot there, you threw a backhand. What was the reasoning behind not going with a forehand there?
I think because of the downhill slope, I was afraid my forehand, if it caught like the wrong angle, would just, I think I was just trying to fight against the downhill slope.
Yeah, you didn't want to shoot down the hill and have a long putt coming back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that was that went across the screen there. I missed something.
Boogeyman or something? Who knows? That's how you get it done. That's a fantastic putt. And then we get to the infamous island hole, hole 17. There are so many options on this hole with the grouping of trees. You can throw the righty hyzer. You can throw the righty forehand. I mean, really, lefties and righties can pick their poison on this hole. What a park job. That was great.
Yeah, really great for the card to have Ratana park it right out the gate.
There were a lot of ace runs on this hole. I saw, you know, recap videos and highlight reels and stuff. I think Lisa Fake is chained out. I think Danny Kleinden, just that dang wall. Danny Kleinden hit the cage. There are ace runs all over this basket. Hey, another crazy line with Krissie. Let's take the lefty forehand flex route.
This had me so nervous after it came out of your hand.
Oh, me too.
I mean, let's take the flex route, and then let's also throw it 5 feet off the ground.
Hey. But I got the green flag from Mitch.
You parked it.
It worked out. Let's see what line Vanessa takes.
You can't see it from this angle, but there are trees directly in front of you off the tee pad. So you really are forced to take really a left or side forehand route or backhand hyzer if you're a lefty, or the right side around the trees, like most players here are doing.
Oh, and it skipped over the railroad tie. I think this is the hole, but I don't think it was until the last round when I had the realization of how loud those feather flags sounded. I mean, you couldn't think of anything else because it was just flooding your brain, just the whipping of those flags.
Yeah, nice putt.
Very nice putt from Vanessa.
It's a little calm right now.
Yeah.
Not quite like hole 11 when you turned the corner earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get in the middle of that island and all those flags surrounding you are whipping, it definitely gets in your head.
Great birdie from Ratana. Yay. And a birdie for Krissie. So our hometown,
You got some fans out here.
folks cheering you on. Bogey Brandon.
It's still kind of middle of the
Look at
day
that
on Friday,
slow-mo.
so
Yeah, you'll definitely a lot more spectators later in the day for sure. Nice. Hole 18. Huh. We had so much fun with this hole leading up to the event. I thought that was going to jump back over. The PDGA came out and we vetted this hole for probably 2 hours on the Saturday before the event because the original intention was to play like the area where the basket is as an island hole, but there were so many rule complications in regards to that the decision that we landed on was just to essentially make it a peninsula and just have OB, left, right, and deep of the basket all the way down the green. I mean, can you imagine how hard this hole would have been if that would have been an island green?
it still played tough.
How much harder, I guess, is
Yeah.
a more appropriate way. Drop zone, that's the drop zone if you go out of bounds on your drive, so that's what Ratana's doing right there.
It really puts you in that tweener place too, where you can't really give it a full shot because you're not going to make it over that second out of bounds area that Katarina found right there.
She's just a child.
Just another wild Krissie shot right here.
I'm pretty sure I remember you telling me that this shot made you nervous.
Oh yeah, it was low, and you went directly over the top of those ties rather than
did.
going through one of the gaps on the right or the left side.
I mean, it was just where I was lined up. It was just meant to be.
Yeah.
Again, commitment.
Simple.
Commitment is the word of this course. This is the word of the weekend. It's probably the best word in disc golf.
This is a tough shot here. Look at that.
Oh, look at
roll.
that roll.
Miserable roll away. But honestly, it opens up an angle that she wouldn't have had otherwise because there's really space in the middle of that gap and then on the left of that gap, and that's it. And the left side is a little scary because of the OB also on the left side.
Yeah, I mean, this whole entire hole is scary. Who are we kidding?
Ratana here has a little bit more angle because of that roll away.
Yep.
Might have helped a little bit. Unfortunately, it gets another tree kick.
I was convinced that on this third shot today, I was just going to go for it. I mean, that was my game plan the entire day after playing it on the first round. And then I saw where I landed, and I had to make a game time decision. Oh, and there's Vanessa's occurrence of whacking the tree right in front of her. It happened to us all.
Yeah.
Got the best of us.
That's a tough spot. I mean, you can see right here, she was kind of in jail there.
Yeah, that's probably more of what she was intending with the shot before. The stairs, I'm sure you probably talked about this with Alex. The stairs played as casual relief, so you could throw from on them, or you could make the decision to throw from, out of that area. Oh, she gets the green flag. Again, you guys, the OB is tight right here.
Thanks to Marty Cooper for spotting on 18, I think
Oh my
almost every
gosh.
day.
Every day. He was loving it. This looks so good. Oh, she thought she was going to throw it in. That was adorable.
That was-
I love
Thank
her.
you.
I hope we get to play together again one day. She was a joy. It's kind of tough being too close to the stairs because then you're forced to have a really high release, so you have to have really good angle control. It's probably better to be about 20 feet back from where Vanessa and I are. You kind of have a better look at the basket and you don't have to throw on such a dramatic angle.
Walk to the top of the stairs, look at it. Just for good.
This is definitely me just figuring out
Go
what
look at it.
to do, and Neil
what you
trying to
think.
hold back his. What, guy? What's going on with your caddy bib there, buddy?
You're getting that dual caddy advice.
Don't say that out loud.
Go look at it.
I know, but that's not in the rules. Well, it is in the rules that says not to do that. So, but I wasn't really giving caddy advice. Ultimately, I landed on throwing a bobcat on a lot of angle, and I think it worked.
It worked
Michael so
great.
much.
What'd you say?
Oh,
I said I hate you,
Busted.
Michaels.
Totally busted right there.
you busted what? What did you say? I didn't even hear it.
Oh, it
I have to
wasn't me that
rewind.
said it. It was you that said it.
What did I say?
You said, I hate you, Michaels.
Oh. Oh yeah, I did say that.
Drop.
Oh my god.
Again from downtown.
We need to go back and put like a metal hit tracker on all of her circle 2 putts because she was so close on so many of those putts today. OMG. I know at this time in the round, we're all just so ready for it to be done. We're mentally exhausted, we're physically exhausted, and we're ending with this crazy 780-foot par 5.
You just want the disc to go in the basket. and
Beautiful
get out of there.
putt.
Man, that shot was wild. That would have been so cool to see something like that go in.
See, if we would have played it as an island, I would have been OB.
It would have been a mess if that played as an island, I think.
I think it would have put too much pressure on volunteers, because the spotters would have to be the ones making the call of where did you cross.
I think the way it played ended up great. It added suspense, and it was a great finishing hole for crowning a champion.
I totally agree.
Okay, well, that's round 2. You've got 2 rounds left to make some moves here at Sprinkle Valley.
Halfway done with U.S. Women's for 2024.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining me.
It was a blast. Thank you so much for being out there and filming the rounds. I'm very, very grateful.
Walking down that way, right?